talking with the DeepSeek AI about an idea. The title of that idea is Passing the Baton to Future Generations. But the bottom line is that I felt that the AI, or DeepSeek in this case, was pointing something a little different, and I felt like being pushed by AI, an idea. So that made me feel a little uneasy about it, and I just wanted to share that. My view of passing the baton is hand over. I will be dying, and I'm summarizing where meaningful or possible the things I may want to share using YouTube, for example, and whether any person would take it or not is up to that person. So the button is out there, but whether it's taken or not, there's nothing guaranteed. And that's part of the way of the nature, because the tree would go through the generation to the next generation and so on and so forth. And for each step of the way, the content of whatever they may have experienced, maybe switching a little bit of a DNA, I don't know, may be passed on to the next. But there's no guarantee that the button may be passed on, or the content to be fully passed on. It all depends on the nature's way, whether tree wishes or not. I'm not sure if that's a good expression, but in case of humans like me, I may have some idea, let's say, may all beings be happy. But if you think about it, that sounds too much. So that idea, even though I say it, may not be carried on. If you aim too high a dream, it may not work well, and therefore each recipient have a choice of whether to grab or just to hold it, or try it, or experiment it, or ignore it. It's just the way it is. Call it nature's way. So even if I have some desire, it's unknown. And the situation that I have lived and experienced most likely be different for the new generation. If I see the use of technology, more inventive ideas and how it's influencing, or political system, everything is different. So my view, whatever the reflection and summary, the check, act, plan, do, CAPD, I would do, which I share in the YouTube, but you don't have to receive a button. You don't have to listen to it, or you can just ignore it, or pick some idea, but not the other idea. So the button is like those flowers or the seeds floating in the air. It may land in certain soil and may grow the next, or it may not. So from the point of view of the nature's way, is so predominant, and that we are the result of it, I don't think it makes sense to push my view to the next generation. It's kind of like an ego, in my view, and I'd rather have the nature to take over, except that I'll do my best to what I think meaningful and worthy, like the idea of the may all beings be happy. But you can say that that's too much, it's not possible, so I'm not going to do it. And if that's the case, that idea may not be passed on. But that's what it is. And we've been talking, or I have been talking to myself about acceptance. Let things happen as it will. I have a will, hopefully connected to the will of the nature, that manifest. But next generation, you don't want to impose the new people, new generation, experiencing new world, whatever the case is, and the world they experience and the world I have experienced may be different. And in this state of who I am, I see many, many, many people have different ideas. So the baton will be passed on to in which direction, so to speak, or not. But that has been the case. So anything to push, organize, set it, and throw it to the next generation, you take it, this is what you have to do. It doesn't fit to my idea of self-motivated. You find your own way of life, how to live, which way to go, which hurdle to overcome, and which dream to materialize. I have my wish, and without that wish, I wouldn't be sharing my idea in YouTube with some sense that there's something in here that I want to share. But it's up to the next person. Maybe this is not the proper thing to talk about, but there's a story of the Buddha. This is part of the sutra, saying that whatever I have taught may not be here 1,000 years from now, or something like that. Whether that's real or not, I don't know. But I thought that's a very interesting observation. I'm sure he was having some kind of button to hand on to the next, and therefore there's a lineage of the people who would appreciate. And there are how many generations, they call the Inka Shome in Zen, that the one master would transmit the law to the next generation. But this Buddha's word seemed to indicate something quite interesting. Not to say that you will totally agree, you may try to make the most of it so that it doesn't vanish after 1,000, 2,000 years, whatever. Nobody knows. But it's the interpretation and the learning and the motivation and how excited, how important it is for that person. And that just depends on, things depends on that kind of a situation, or whether the lineage, the passing on of the Dharma or the laws can be made or not. So that's a reality. But it may mean there could be a way that this idea can be passed on. But if you know it, or if you believe in it, it may not be coming really from the heart. Nobody answered that question. But I'm just saying that I will do my thing what I think may be important or meaningful for anyone to think and decide and move on with it or not. It's the same as those pollens, the seeds, flowers. And to me, that's very natural. Yeah. I feel like I may be in the Garden of Eden, eternal home in that place, instead of artificial intelligence telling this is the good, this has to be, and some algorithm telling what should be and make a decision. Trusting something of that could be tricky. That's just an idea I thought wanted to share. I'll post this dialogue with the DeepSeek, and it's very subtle, but relating to AI and how AI itself may position and offer ideas and how humans may take or not. This discussion have some connection to such a thought. So I thought maybe it's unclear, but something to think about. Thank you.